All right, everybody. So, welcome to another Why We Hunt episode, discovering the mystery of why we are compelled to earn trophies, achievements, catch all the Pokemon, you name it. And well, we got a guest today. I guess I should call you Louie, is what he called. But he is a member of the Platinumbros. So, you want to introduce half of the team, I guess?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, thanks for having me on. We are going to discuss the unanswerable question as to why we hunt trophies. So, I am Lewis. I am the Platinum Bro, but as I was just saying before, I prefer to be called Lewis on these sort of live chats. I've got a YouTube channel where I obviously talk about lots of trophy-related topics, and that is pretty much how I would summarize it all together.
You want to give your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so my YouTube channel is just Platinumbros7. Nice and straightforward.
All
in
right.
touch and in timing with the topic of platinum trophies.
All right, I'll put the link in the description.
Thank you.
So why don't we talk about your early gaming career? Were you playing games before trophies even came out, other systems, and?
Oh man, so I'm a little bit different, I imagine, to most people who you're going to have on this. So I didn't get my PlayStation account until 2017. So originally I was Xbox, so I played Xbox, and I did a bit of gamer score, dabbled a little bit, and then until 2017 I had a PlayStation 3, I just didn't really play it, and then in 2017 I made the jump. You know, I'm pretty firm in saying that the PlayStation 4 is the better console.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't think I'm like a fanboy, so I just feel like personally I just sort of I go where I think the console is the best.
Oh, I thought you meant four was better than PlayStation 3. You mean in general out of Xbox, Nintendo's? Yeah. Okay, all right, never mind. I retract my statement. I'm not going to be console biased. I thought you're comparing the 4 to the 3.
The 4 is way better than the 3, but no, I feel like PlayStation 4 was better than the Xbox One this time.
Okay.
I think it was more on par last generation. Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 was a lot closer to call. You know, the exclusives were so good on either side. Whereas this generation, it's been PS4 all the way. I've struggled for anybody to really challenge anybody on that front anyway.
I don't know. I think Nintendo has some good exclusives.
Okay, yeah, of course.
But Microsoft.
I don't always think Nintendo. I always think of like just Microsoft and Sony.
Microsoft is like going. Let's not be exclusive anymore. Let's just put everything on. Let's use the Switch as our handheld sort of deal at this point.
I think Microsoft are doing some good things. I think in the next coming years we're going to see some interesting things from them.
I don't really follow Xbox too much. I just
I mean, this is PlayStation channel basically, isn't it? So I've just led us on a massive tangent to start with.
Well, actually, I don't want the goal of this channel to be all PlayStation. It's kind of very, I mean, that's kind of what I know mostly, but I would really like to be, I don't know, kind of branch off. I mean, I used to be very hardcore PlayStation way or the highway sort of deal, but I think trophies had a lot of reasoning to do with that, but I mean, I grew up on Nintendo, so I kind of
me too.
There is a nostalgia feel to it, and I feel like they have good exclusives. But anyways, back to why we're hunting things. So like growing up as a kid, what first systems and what kind of
first system was Game Boy Advance, no Game Boy Color, or with Pokemon Yellow. But then I swiftly moved on to PlayStation 1 and 2. They were the good old days. PlayStation 2, what a console.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And I also Pokemon Yellow. That was a good one. Oh man, that was a good one.
Masterpiece.
You're actually
when I was younger, I played that game. I had no idea. I think I was about 6 when I played it, or 7, and I basically caught a Pidgey and just played it so much that when I went to face Brock, it was a Pidgeot. So I just spent like my entire childhood in Veridon Forest fighting other Pidgeys until I was so OP that my level 36, 37 Pidgeot just destroyed Brock's Onyx.
I did something similar, and it's actually funny that you bring up Pokemon Yellow because you are not the only person I've interviewed that had Pokemon Yellow as their first game.
It's just I feel like we're the generation, the millennials who played Pokemon Yellow. You know, it was a starting point in the 90s.
Oh, it was. Oh man, those days. I miss some of those days. Those
Yeah,
games.
me too.
Anyways, so you said you got into trophies fairly recently,
Late.
so
Yeah.
you don't know. I feel like a lot of people that are in trophy communities and stuff now just weren't even around. They were on other systems and they just came now, so they don't even know what the atmosphere and all that and what trophies and stuff were like. I mean, you were playing on Xbox though, so you kind of knew the achievement system, or were you not into those at the time?
I was into them. I would have said I was nowhere near as extreme as I am now. I would probably, I would never finish games 100%, but I'd probably say the average person gets, say, 500 gamer score out of a game. I'd probably get about 800. I'd probably push it to, like, the point where I didn't want to, where it was getting difficult, collectibles and things were really off-putting. But I always tried to do as much as I could. But this was younger, Lewis. This was when had less drive, whereas now I'm a little bit more addicted to the trophy side of it.
Yeah, when I started out, it was pretty casual. Then I got addicted. Now I think I'm kind of, I don't know,
Cynical about it all.
cynical and put off by a lot of the stuff at times. But I don't know. I'm sure you've heard some of my rants, but
Only a few.
only
A
a
few
few.
enough. I kid.
Oh, I don't know. There was a point where I was streaming on Twitch, and it was literally a rant every day. Trophies suck. Trophies are terrible nowadays. I'm retiring after 10 more plats. So, uh, have trophies? I mean, you mentioned it's an addiction at this point, and actually, I kind of feel that. I have been thinking about that term with after talking with a lot of people and thinking about it myself too. Do you feel that there's games you buy just to get the trophies and you don't care about the game itself at all?
Most definitely, yes. I would say maybe addicted is a strong word in my case. I don't think I am addicted, but there's definitely games where I'll play them because of the fact that they're quick platinum trophies. It doesn't mean that I don't play a lot of other games, which I feel like I do. I feel like personally I've got my balance. Like I've got the balance that suits me well, which is maybe a big game followed by 5 or 6 easy games, and then sort of rinse and repeat. But I think it does become a problem for a lot of people.
Yeah, what do you mean by problem?
As in, it takes over that gaming personality. So people do become quite obsessed with it, and they refrain from playing a lot of bigger games. They refrain from playing online games, multiplayer games, games with collectibles, and I think it narrows sights. It narrows the games they play massively.
Yeah, for on that topic, I mean, you said you have a balance, but I've been starting to question why balance at all. Does it like why not just play all good games at this point? Is my frame of mind, I guess, and I question we're just being sold, uh, basically virtual shiny objects.
Things.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a really good question that I probably am not intelligent enough to answer.
Well, that's part of the reason of this podcast.
Yeah.
Trying to figure that out.
It's sort of like there's two parts of gaming when it comes to trophy hunting. There is the trophy hunting side of it, and then there's a side where you just play, end carelessly in the games that you want to enjoy. Because let's be real, trophy hunting is not always very joyful.
Oh, for sure not. A lot of times it's a chore and a job you pay to do.
Yes, I love when you said that in one of your recent videos. That is so well described. Like, why would you pay to do a job?
That you don't enjoy all the time.
I feel like you've got to enjoy what you're doing. So personally, If I stopped finding joy in this, if I stopped enjoying trophy hunting, I would stop. I think, we give, as humans, let's try and get a little bit philosophical. I feel like we give meaning to the things that we do. And if you're doing something and you're not enjoying it and you're hating yourself for doing it, then you only got one life. Should you really be doing it?
Well, then I think it's classified as addiction at that point.
Yeah.
But it's
But
hard. It's hard to give up. I've tried.
Yeah.
I've tried multiple
I
times.
actually have.
And you say you would give it up, but you don't know. It's kind of like, well, I already put so much effort. It looks like you got 3, 2, 1 plats. Oh, that's a number. 3, 2, 1. That's like
3, 2, 1.
satisfying to me right now.
When I say I would give it up, I didn't say I'd give it up easily. I think I would, if it was bringing me a lot of discomfort in my life, I think I would have to walk away. But you're right, it's hard to say these things. It's easy to say these things. It's different when you're in that situation.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned balance in games. What kind of what are the genres and types of games you really enjoy playing?
That is a good question. I like all games. Growing up, it was heavily RPGs, so like Skyrim, Witcher, Dragon Age. I liked them a lot when I was a lot younger. I still like them now, but I feel like because they're such big games and the trophy side of it doubles the length of them. 200, 300-hour games can be incredibly intimidating now, and real life hits you when you've got a job and stuff, and sometimes you can't commit. But I wouldn't say that's all I play. Like, I really like linear games, like, obviously famously like Naughty Dog. I like most of their games, and I like a great co-op game. You can't beat a co-op game.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. When you have a job and all this, and the trophy lists have turned me off just for being too long for sure. Because I mean, I got into that mentality of gotta be efficient with the plats, efficient with your time, and then also, I'll play these garbage things, all the fast stuff, and then I can play the longer things. And
Yeah.
and actually, once I start longer things, I don't know if you feel this way, but I've gotten to where I start a longer game, and then I'll be kind of like miserable because I'll like be rushing myself to finish it, and I'll just feel like a chore to finish it. You ever experienced that?
Yeah, definitely. It's hard because you play these games that are amazing that you think, well, this game's 100-hour long and I'm only on hour 7 or hour 17. I need to speed this up, but I can't.
Yeah, and then you're just not enjoying it at that point either.
Yeah, it's hard. I think that's why I do sort of say when I was talking about balance, it's not just about balance on trophies and games. It's about balancing your time with those games. So if you're playing a really great game, but you're struggling a bit with it mentally because for whatever reason, sometimes you just got to walk away for a little bit, but then come back.
But yeah, also balancing your time with life stuff too. And,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you just get to a point where it's the longer games, unfortunately, and that's kind of what I've been thinking about too. It's like the games that deserve more of my attention, I just pass because, well, I should say deserve more as opposed to their higher quality games, and they're legit more fun, but I don't know, on the gotta get back to the trash, gotta maintain.
Well, if you in your circumstances, because of how many trophies you've got and stuff, if you were to say I'm going to dedicate 250 hours to Witcher 3, then jump straight onto The Last of Us Part 2, which is 100 hours, 50, 60 hours even, and then jump on to say I don't know, a JRPG, you would be, that's 400 hours, say. That's probably like a month of gaming, 2 months of gaming. The leaderboards and stuff would just change drastically in that time. And there'd be so many Radlacka games out in that time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of leaderboards, is that any influence on you? Do you leaderboard chase or whatnot?
Not now. When I first started, I first discovered it, I found it incredibly addictive and enticing because when I first started, I was getting a platinum trophy moving up like 50,000 spaces, and before I knew it, I was in like the top 100,000, and I thought, this is addictive. But now it's slowed down considerably, and now because I'm investing a lot more time into YouTube, and I don't have that much time as much to game anymore, that I just sort of take a step back from it.
Yeah, that's true. And then you're also, as you go up in ranks, you get to the phase of everyone else is playing all the Red Leica games and all their super fast stuff, so you literally have to play them.
Yeah.
The 1 minute plats and things of that nature.
I would
Um,
say I'm not that far yet because I think I'm around 400th in the UK, so about 4,000th in the world. So I think the people around me usually have a bit of everything. So they definitely have those trash games in there, but then they have like more bigger lists, more varying lists. But obviously, top 100 of any country is just the same.
well, if it's not a leaderboard, uh, well, also then there's also the time factor of the leaderboards because the leaderboard, one of the aspects of it just boils down to time. I mean, if you don't play, you cannot rise up in rank at all. Um,
Yeah, for
and
sure. Would you
um,
agree with this if I was to say that the leaderboards for trophy hunting is basically who has the most time to play games? That's the biggest factor.
Not necessarily. You have to also factor in the fact of what games they play. I mean, if you're playing 400 hours a month, like you said on Last of Us, and some online co-op Call of Duty or something like that, someone that spends 2 hours playing eight flats can would be higher.
Yeah, fine. I'll rephrase that. The top 100. It is just people move up because they spend more time on the easier games.
Um, It's one aspect. There are other aspects. Like I did have that one series of kind of most of the aspects I could think of. I mean, when you get really high up, you get to strange things of who's stacking the games, who's a solo account, who's uh, got more time, got more money, access to games, things of that nature. But yeah, time is a really big factor.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, for me, I do find the money aspect to be like a hindrance or like holds me back. I limit my money on how much I spend on video games per month. And sometimes I think if you were to spend your money on say Radalakia's games that come out every month, you could easily be spending 50, £60, 60, $70 per month on these easy 1 hour platinum trophies, which is a lot of money. It adds up over the year.
oh, for sure. And I mean, I think some of the games are decent, but then some of them
Yeah,
are just, well, we literally spent our money to get a trophy, and
yeah.
at this point, they're trophies just, I don't know, they just don't feel like what they used to me. And I think to a lot of people that were trophy hunting when it first came out. But if leaderboards are not too much of an issue, and actually, I think before I go to the next question, I really feel like that time thing, because we talked about the time pressure and stuff. Um, I feel like gaming is a lot more fun when you don't have a time pressure to finish things, and you can just go
I
at your own pace and all that.
I completely agree with that. I mean, I can only imagine having the pressure of trying to compete with other people at a high level on leaderboards. But even I find that when I make YouTube videos and stuff, if I'm playing a game to make it say I'm playing a game on a Monday because I have to review it on a Wednesday, that time frame takes away a lot of the fun for the game because you're working on a time schedule. You're feeling a little bit of pressure. It's always in the back of your head. So I imagine if you're in the top 50, top 10, that pressure is always in the back of your head saying, right, if you don't play this, someone else is going to play it and do it
Yeah,
before you.
yeah, for sure. And actually, I've been thinking about doing reviews and stuff too. And then I would think, well, if I ever get big, then I'm gonna have this time pressure thing as well as for getting reviews out and stuff. But um,
Yeah.
anyways, so back to if the leaderboard's not too much of a factor for you, why do you still play all the really easy stuff? Do you have a goal like I want to get to 500 plats, or you just, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that's a good question. I think I'm not saying the leaderboards aren't important to me, I would say I still check them a couple times a week. I play them a lot because I feel like my YouTube now does intertwine a bit. I want to be playing the recent games so I can give my opinions on them, but also it is still about chasing the numbers. Like, it's still about growing the platinums. I wouldn't say I've got any goals. I did set a goal of 300 platinums for this year, and because I had 200 as of January, which I obviously have achieved already. But that was just sort of like a funsy challenge. If I do it, I don't do it. I'm not overly bothered. But I would probably just say it's just you wanted to build up the numbers, and I think I do like playing the big games, the games that I love, or the games that are hard, because you feel like when you finish those games, you do get a great sense of achievement.
Yeah, it feels a lot different, as
Yeah.
opposed to
So
just on to the next one.
yeah, like
Um,
I recently finished Resident Evil 6, and it's quite an easy platinum trophy. It's about 50 hours, but I went for 100%, and the online, basically DLC is all online. It took me like 50 hours of boosting. It was soul destroying, I'm not going to lie. But now I've done it, I feel like quite a strong sense of achievement for doing it. And I've got that platinum trophy and that 100% to show the world if anybody cares.
yeah, that's one of the things I question too. How much people care about other people's lists? Because definitely your list is more important to you than it is to anybody else. I feel.
Yeah,
Um,
I really don't like it when people judge other people or belittle other people because of how many platinum trophies they have.
yeah, I agree with you.
I feel like it's
Well,
you
there's
put you
so
do
many
this.
unfair. Like you can't compare anybody.
Yeah,
Like I said, there's just so
yeah,
many factors that go into it. Some people gotta work two jobs. Some people just play what they want for fun. They don't spend their $5 to get a
yeah,
plat in 10 minutes. And I mean, there's just different gaming styles. Some people just casually play through games, and actually, a lot of people, like if you play online games at all and stuff, the people that are really good are the people that have like one plat, and that plat is that game.
yeah.
As opposed to the people that have 500 plats and just play games and then move on to the next one. Um,
Yes, so true. It's like what you said in one of your other videos. You said something like it's like comparing apples with pears and apples with other apples and stuff. And platinum trophies they're not the same anymore. So one platinum trophy is like a platinum trophy for The Witcher 3 is not equivalent to any Radlakia platinum trophy, and it doesn't take a genius to know that.
Well, I think a lot of people don't. I think there's a lot of people that just don't know about trophies too much in general, even though they play on PlayStation, but they get their PlayStations for like NBA 2K
Yeah,
XXX and stuff like that. Which is fine. I mean, that's why they get a PlayStation, why they game. That's what they like to do. But
yeah.
um,
More importantly, they're probably having a lot of fun playing those games, and that's
probably are.
ultimately what gaming's about.
They probably are, and they're also not spending money because they just got to buy that one game, and that's it, and that lasts them like all year.
Yeah, I mean they're probably spending plenty of money on microtransactions on NBA, but other than that,
Oh,
nothing else.
I guess that is true.
But yeah, going back to what we said a little bit a while ago, I feel like not that many people actually care about trophies. I don't think. I think there's enough people who do care about it. You know, there's hundreds of thousands of people on the leaderboard who do care about it, but you have to care about it the most yourself, and you shouldn't really care what other people think. So if someone has more platinum trophies than you, who cares? If you want to work on the Witcher Platinum, go for it. If you want to work on the Sekiro, go for it. You know, you just do what you want to do that makes you happy.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to just focus on yourself and not be influenced by others.
It's very
Um,
hard.
but yeah, I think that's the way to go. And other people I've talked to, it seems like um, they've enjoyed themselves more when they just focus on themselves as opposed to the leaderboards or uh, trying to get everything done and stuff like that. But
Yeah. No, sorry, go on.
so for those games that are what you say the better games, the longer games, do you think trophies add to the experience for you? I mean, it's not going to be just to rush through it, or do you try to get it to prove that, oh, I did this, or does it give you
I'm
extra challenges, extra layers of things to accomplish?
I think if you're playing a game that you love, or you're playing a game, I think just a singular AAA game or something, I think platinum trophies really improve the game. So The Last of Us is part one. We'll have to call it now. Is the perfect example that I can say, because if you played the game and you played it on grounded mode, you'll know that that is the best way to play the game. I personally would never have played that if it wasn't for trophies, and I went for the trophy, and I realised that this is just such a different game. It's phenomenal playing it this way, and for me, that sort of represents how trophies can improve a game so much.
Yeah, they could. There is a positive aspect in that regard for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Plus, as well, I think for people who don't have a lot of money and stuff, it lengthens the games. So you can it often adds 10, 20, 30% of the time on that game if you go for the platinum trophy, if not longer. So it gets people playing the same games for longer as well, which is never a bad thing if you enjoy the game. And then if you do platinum it, then it is something. If it's a game you love, it's something to be proud of. And I think there's a lot of people out there who only platinum their favorite games, and that's, to them, is like a badge of honor to say this game's really good. It's so good, in fact, that I've finished every aspect of this game.
yeah, that is a good point. There is the other side of the coin, though, that nowadays we have lists of you don't actually have to finish the game, and then people just move on.
Yeah,
Um,
I do that. I'm being completely honest. I do that, and I run like 8 games.
yeah, for the most part, those lists are not in games that are like big AAA titles and things of that nature, but um, I mean, those have gotten easier as well. Just
Yes.
play on the easiest difficulty and stuff like that. Does that have any influence on you? Like if you got I mean, have you played Spider-Man, for example?
Yes, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. That is one of my favorite games of all time, and I played that, and then I played it again on the, because they released extra trophies for the hardest difficulty. But that, generally, just the platinum trophy, that is such an easy game, but a great game.
Yeah, but so when you went for the platinum trophy, before the harder deal or the new game, whatever the higher difficulty DLC was, did you play it on easy because you could for the
I
plat?
think I played it on medium.
Okay, so you did actually up the difficulty a little bit.
Well, it depends on the game. I feel like often the medium difficulty is the difficulty that the developers want you to play the game on. So I feel like sometimes you are doing a bit of a disservice to play the game on a lower difficulty just to get a platinum trophy. That being said, I really like difficulty-based trophies, and I had this the game that comes to mind is Jedi Fallen Order, because for me I really enjoyed that game. But I only played it once, and I platinum trophied in about 30 minutes. 30 minutes? Oh no, 30 hours.
30
And
minutes. How'd you
that was
manage
really
that?
impressive. Just force jumped to the very end. But no, when I finished it, I thought that was really good, and I enjoyed it. But I would have actually enjoyed that too. I wanted that to be a hard difficulty trophy to make me go back and play it, because there was no incentive for me.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, at least personally for me, I would play games probably at the highest difficulty if trophies didn't exist.
Oh
Um,
wow.
but then, because I think they would be more fun. I would rather have that challenge. But if a game will let me play it on easy, I will play it on easy and for the trophies. And I feel like that's not really a good thing. But I mean, it sounds like if you really like the game, you do up the difficulty a bit. So
Yeah, but
um,
I wouldn't. For example, I played The Last of Us on medium, and I would not have played Last of Us Part Two. Sorry, I played Last of Us Part Two on medium, and I had no intention of playing on a harder difficulty until the new trophies came out. So, and I'm not going to lie and say I wouldn't play it on easy. I would play certain games on easy if I wasn't enjoying them. So if I picked up a game, for example, I'm playing Ghost Week on Breakpoint at the moment. It's a pretty poor game, but I'm playing on easy because I want to get through it faster.
okay.
So it just
Um,
depends. That's going to be my answer for most things. To be fair, I can never give you a definitive answer.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be some exceptions to every rule in the world.
Yeah.
So, um, except that 2 plus 2 is 4, not 3. But other than that, so you said right now you play PlayStation is you feel like it's the main the best console.
Yeah.
Do you have any feelings of that trophies keep you on that? Like, say the new Xbox is, say you feel the new Xbox is better. Would you stay with PlayStation because of your trophy count, or would you just jump ship to Xbox?
I think trophies have their claws in me pretty deep. I think if Xbox was the better console next generation, I definitely would buy it and I would play the exclusives on that console. But I think I'd probably play majority on my PlayStation still. I might play the games that maybe I don't want to play on my PlayStation or my Xbox because, like, for example, here's a game that's a 100-hour platinum trophy but only 30-hour experience. I might just throw it on the Xbox to take off that pressure for the trophies. But I think I'm pretty much on the trophy train for the foreseeable future. That's for certain.
Yeah, I was definitely at that point. I was like, no, if it's taking my time and there's no trophies, it's just a waste of time at this point. So I got to stay with PlayStation. But
Yeah,
I'm kind of, I think, coming out of that. But um,
you've put a lot more time in to the trophies than I have. So yours is times 10 to how I would feel about it. However, I have often thought about. I don't have a Nintendo Switch just because I just haven't got around to buying one. But I do often think I'm going to buy one soon because I feel like there's some good games on there. It's good exclusives and there's some good games that you could play without the trophies on, which I think just relieves the pressure not worrying about having to platinum games, finish games, because that's not what it's all about. It's about sometimes just taking a step back from trophies and just enjoying games for games.
yeah, for sure. It's just so relaxing at times when you don't have to finish a game or like
Yeah,
it's like, oh man, I just could explore, do what I want. It's
yeah. Like, I agree. It's a big. It's just taking that pressure off the back of your head. I mean, especially if, like, I've got quite a high completion rate, about like 98%, but yours is like 90. I'm pretty sure you finished every game you've ever played. So I imagine the pressure for you is like sort of immense in terms of like, do I play this game? Because if I don't finish it, it's going to stay in my account forever.
yeah, there's that problem as well. Um, yeah, keeping 100% is ugh, it's terrible at times.
Yes,
Um,
very taxing.
yeah, incredibly so. Um,
Yeah.
so also, in regards to that, if you have earned all the trophies in a game, would you play the game further, or would you move on, even if you really like the game?
If it's, I'm going to generally say no. But basically, if a game's still good, I will not delete it from my PlayStation. I will put it in a certain folder on my PlayStation, which I will revisit. And the only games that are in it are basically Uncharted 4 and Spider Man, I think. And I think a few VR games. So I would say most of the time I don't. But with like Spider Man, I think Spider Man's such a good game. I will replay that game every month or so just for a couple hours. But normally, no. It's got to be the best of games.
Okay. Um, yeah, because I feel like people that have earned trophies and stuff, it kind of makes it like once you get it, you're done, move on. I feel like trophies have just changed the mindsets of certain people. And like you were saying before, there are the type of people that only plat the games they like, and that's one type of trophy hunter. But I feel
Yeah.
like there's a lot of people that it's warped our play styles and all that stuff. And speaking of which, how do you approach games using guides and stuff? Do you try to go as smooth as like possible through it, as efficiently as possible? Use the guide to a T. Use all their videos, or do you kind of, I don't know, play around with the
Uh,
game and use the guide to mop up or whatnot?
I would say I always check a guide before I play a game. I will always make sure I go on PSN profiles or PlayStation trophies and just have a look at how hard the game is and how to achieve the platinum trophy. If it says if it's a game I know I'm going to enjoy, then I will just play it first once. But for example, The Last of Us Part 2, I kind of regret doing that because it's such a big game. So I played it for 25 hours, just play through it. And now I've got to sort of go back and do it 2 more times, once on Grounded and once just to do a cleanup. So, but it depends. Like, if it's going to be a great game, I know I'm going to love it. I will just play it blind. But if I know it's a game like that, I'm not going to be too into. Maybe I'm going to enjoy. Maybe it's a 7 out of 10 game, like say Assassin's Creed game or something. I probably will do a check and do like, especially if there's missable trophies. I'll definitely get missable trophies on the first time.
You ever feel like using guides kind of makes the game, I don't want to say worse, but less fun because you're just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it does. I stopped playing Platinum Trophy games, quick, easy ones that have guides. So I remember the game, I think that ruined it for me. It's a game called Facilis or Vasalis or something like that.
Oh, that one was not good.
That was too much. That crossed the line for me. I thought I'm never playing a game like this again. So I will play like the platforming games. I'll play the twin stick shooter games, but I will not play games that I just walk through guides anymore because I just despised it so much. And I thought that was like 2.5 hours of my life I'm not getting back. So yeah, I think games that you require a guide the whole way through for me are incredibly off-putting. And I think just going off like using a guide for like a AAA game or something, yeah, it can have a negative impact on the game, how you perceive the game. Especially if you accidentally read a spoiler or something in on the trophy list or something, it can be a negative.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I mean, you do see spoilers in the guides. I mean, it's like you can't avoid it. I mean, because there'll be also like if there's a collectible guide or something, it's like almost impossible to not have something spoiled. Because they can't just say go
Yeah.
right here, go left here. They gotta kind of, even if it's text, they gotta kind of uh, describe
Yeah.
what you're about to see. Like, oh, after this boss, after the giant gorilla boss. Wait, there's a giant gorilla boss?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that just completely ruined the surprise ending of the game.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I didn't use one for The Last of Us. That's why if it's a game I really care about, I won't use a collectible guide first time, and I'll replay the game because yeah, collectibles are brutal anyway. I'm not a big fan of too many collectibles. I think if a game's got more than say 50, I think it's too much, which isn't a great deal, but I just haven't got the patience for them. But yeah, collectible guides really can just drop spoilers everywhere for a game for you.
Well, then the problem too is, I mean, it's just like you're doing work trying to look it up on the guide, then find it in the game, and go back to the guide, and it's like I just
Yeah,
want to play. Come on.
yeah, it can be so yeah. That's what really has been putting me off playing Witcher 3, to be honest, because there's like so many missable trophies. You basically got to have a guide up and consult it it's 50 minutes of gameplay. You got to read the guide for 5 minutes, and it ruins your immersion. Immersion is quite a big deal for me in games. Like that's pretty much one of the things if I was to review a game, I look at how it makes me feel. Does it keep me in the game, or do I get distracted by trophies, by maps, interfaces, and pulling yourself out of a game to look at trophies and guides is just the most immersion breaking thing you can do.
Yeah, that's a good point. Trying to think where I was gonna go. I had another train of thought. It happens all the time. I get these trains of thoughts, and
There's nothing wrong with that. We're just having a flowing conversation.
yeah, gotta keep the flow. All right, so I guess I feel like there's a big topic I'm missing here, but anyways, so to summarize, can you answer the question why you hunt trophies? Um, let's see. So trophies, you say you're mildly addicted. We'll lessen the impact of it to that. But
Yeah,
leaderboards aren't too much of a factor. You look at them, but it's kind of more casual.
yeah.
You trophies do keep you on the PlayStation. And I guess you do also feel like they do add a certain layer to, um, to the game. You know, like you said, you don't want to play games that are too much of a casual thing. You look at them, but it's kind of more casual. You trophies do keep you on the PlayStation. And I guess you do also feel like they do add a certain layer to, um, to the game. You know, like you said, you don't want to play games that are too much of a casual thing. You look at them, but it's kind of more casual. And the better games that you would enjoy, give you a little bit more to do in them. But
Yeah, they
then,
had to cover its pros and there's some serious pros and some serious cons with
yeah,
trophies.
yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Because it's like I bash trophies sometimes, but I don't hate trophies. I mean, depending on how you game and whatnot, they're good, but then some of them are just used to sell games at this point that we would never even think twice about buying.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like
so
someone told me once when I first started that trophies are great because they like broaden your horizons of games that you experience. And although I would say some of them have been negative, I have played a few games that I enjoyed, and even on some rad lacquer games that I enjoyed. Like I think I enjoyed a game called Concept Destruction. I really enjoyed that one. I enjoyed like a game called Null Drifter as well. The ones that come to my head, great, just great different games I never would have personally experienced. Which is that there is a pro, but on the same side, on the other side of the coin of that, I played a lot of terrible games that I wouldn't have played.
yeah, for sure. And I actually question even the games that are fast plats like that people consider fun. Like I've asked people and they say, "Oh, that was a fun one." But then I question, was it really that much fun or was it just because you got a plat in 15 minutes and it
That
was
is,
like not that painful for you to do? Um,
yeah,
cuz I
that's very
mean,
valid.
um, because I like I said, I feel like it skews some people's mindsets on things.
No, yeah, sometimes you're like, some people are so used to playing terrible platinum, easy platinum games, 10-minute platinums, that when they play one that isn't that bad, they
Yeah,
say they've had fun.
it's not good, but it's not that bad. So in comparison, it's
Yeah.
uh, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like comparing a 1 out of 10 game and a 2 out of 10 game and going, well, the 2 out of 10 game is actually okay. Well, actually, you said this in one of your videos recently that it's like all these even games. Some of them aren't even games anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
The visual novels for me, like, although I don't mind them because they're so easy, they're not really games, are they anymore? Like, literally, it's like a presentation on a PowerPoint. You just clicking some buttons and moving through a slideshow.
well, I mean, if you're actually playing the visual novel, like reading the story, and I don't know if you've ever read those like choose your own adventure books or whatnot, but I I will admit I don't think I've ever played a visual novel like it was supposed to be
Yeah,
played.
same.
It was always just skip through it and follow the recipe book of which choices to pick. But
Yeah.
um, if you're legitimately reading it, there's people that legitimately enjoy that, and I think that would be a good game then. Some of them, um,
Yeah, that's true. To be fair, yeah, I'm the same. I've never played one to read the story, but I would sort of say if I'm gonna play a visual novel, let's say 3 hours, but I can do it in 15 minutes. And like, if I'm playing that for fun, why am I not playing the actual games that I want to play for fun? Like, why would I play that instead of playing like I don't know a new AAA game that I've really wanted for a long time?
yeah, but I mean, you're probably just not like a big reader or anything. Because I know some of those, some of the ones based off of like animes and things, people
Yeah,
read them for the stories. Like they'll play Steins Gate or whatnot, and because they're fans of anime and Steins Gate and stories and stuff. And for those,
yeah,
I think the visual novels are good. But then again, they're gonna miss a bunch of trophies and all this stuff. I mean, they could go back and play it again, but for the
that's very
way that
true.
it's meant to be played, like the developer um, meant to write the story and whatnot, I feel like our view as
Different.
trophy trash compactors or whatever.
Yeah,
It's completely different how we just not play games that are actual games. But
that's true. I mean, here we are slating these games when they could be like the most amazing stories ever wrote of all time.
yeah, we just wouldn't know.
However, on that, a question: do you think Radlakia, who create these graphic novels. I keep calling them graphic novels. These visual novels. Do you think that they create good stories? I've never read one. I imagine you haven't read one either. So do you think they're appealing to anime, or are they still just appealing to us?
Superior to the anime ones. Well,
Like, yeah,
Radalaika doesn't make those games. They just
yeah,
they just
publish them.
publish them. So like
I've
I don't know, a story about dogs and stuff might be really good. I'm not a dog
yeah,
fan though, but um,
that's very true. I mean, we'll never know. The only game I've played that
well,
is
we could
sort of
know
graphic novel.
if we go back and read them. But
Yeah, we aren't gonna do that though. Let's be real. Maybe the next one.
really, you're gonna read it?
Nah.
Oh, we got ourselves
Maybe.
a reader.
Uh,
No, I
I do like
probably
to read sometimes, but I wouldn't. But then there's the whole thing of, do I want to read a visual novel, or do I want to read like an actual book?
I might actually rather read a visual novel because it would give me choices and things to do.
Yeah, it's true. It's like a graphic novel. If it was like to the caliber of a graphic novel, then maybe.
Well, some of these anime ones I feel like
Yeah,
kind of are, or they should be. I don't know because I'm a terrible
we're just
person and I just skip through
yeah,
them all. Skippity doo dah, skippity a.
we're just speculating at this point. We have no idea.
Yeah. If anyone reads novels in the comments, let us know. But I
Yeah,
feel
let us
like a
know down
lot of
below.
people that are listening to this for trophies and achievements, they're skippers too.
Yeah, we're all skippers.
Um, all right, so what else to sum up this? You're also not quite sure why you hunt them. It sounds like.
To be honest, no. Well, I had to think about this today, obviously, because I knew I was coming on, and I just couldn't really place it. And I think it's just a combination of a few things. I think it is a mildly addictive. I think I'm quite an obsessive person. I go like all in with the things that I do. I think I do enjoy platinuming, finishing the games that I love, but I end up playing these cheap games as well, which I don't love, but I play them anyway. And I would probably struggle to answer why I play these games, other than my mild defense of I play some of them for YouTube, but that's not why I play all of them.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's a great mystery.
Yeah,
uh,
hopefully I've added something that can, going forward, episode 10, 11, 12, you might be closer to knowing why we do it, other than the fact that we're all just secretly addicted and we don't know, and we can't admit it.
I'm kind of leaning towards it. I'm kind of leaning towards that we're just most people are addicted. Um, like after talking with people, and then I think about the conversation I had with them, and they're like, "Oh, well, I do it just to get milestones and stuff," and I think, yeah, but if someone goes through your list, all your good games are just buried in there anyway. They won't
Yeah.
even notice them. I don't know.
I mean, we said earlier on, a long time, back in the past, 30, 40 minutes ago, I said I would walk away if I wasn't having fun or enjoying it. Honestly, I would struggle to do it, but I think I could do it, but it wouldn't be easy. So that probably is, when you think of like the classical categories of addiction, that, struggling to walk away from something is, a mild sign of it.
Yeah. We just don't
So
realize.
it is what it is.
Trophy Addicts Anonymous. That's what we got to
Yeah.
start. Let's start a new YouTube channel, and we'll do that. But all right. So yeah, thanks a lot for coming on. You said
Been a
your
pleasure.
YouTube channel is Platinumbros7.
Yeah, so I'll do reviews, and I'll talk about platinum trophies. I do topics about them. I do, reviews of games, and I don't do guides normally because I just can't be bothered with them. But that's all. So yeah, come say hi if you fancy it.
All right. Is there anywhere else they can find you?
I'm on Discord. I'm on Instagram and Twitter of the same name. But to be honest, I'll just say head on to YouTube. You can get all the stuff there if you really want to say hi.
All right. I'll put all the links that you want me to in the description, and you guys can check them out there. You can check me out on Twitch when I stream, and my Twitter and all that stuff. I'll put that down below too. If you guys got comments on this episode, opinions, I'd like to hear them. But yeah, take with
Me
it
too.
what you will from the knowledge that we gained from picking Platinum Bros' brain. I mean, Louis. Sorry,
It's been a pleasure.
it has Platinum Bro on my phone that I'm calling you from, and so that's what I was looking at. And then I looked up at my dashboard, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's what you wanted me to call you.
It's all very confusing. I'm a very confusing person, so don't worry about it.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for coming on. Had
It's
fun.
been a pleasure.
And with that being said, everybody have a good night, good morning. Enjoy your games. Thanks for watching. And hopefully, I'll see you guys again next time. Goodbye, everybody.